I hope you have already watching the previous video about fine-tuning. There I explained what fine-tuning is in theory, how and where it is used. And in this video, as I promised, we will train an OpenAI model, that is fine-tune an OpenAI model, and go over the key points again and prepare the data for training. And we will get another fitted model, that is fine-tuning in action. So of course, like OpenAI has a website and a page where they describe how to perform model fine-tuning. In this case, we are looking at supervised fine-tuning of the model. That is, here we can choose which model we want, see how to do it correctly, what we will be doing, and read about it. And the format we will use is called JSONL. So here is a typical example of what the format is. That is, on each line there should be one JSON object with a role description, but we will talk about this a little later. And now I wanted to show you that there is a page you can read to study more deeply how to properly, as OpenAI recommends, train models. Also, there are various other submodels from vision fine-tuning. This is exactly they describe how to train the model in my previous video. If you haven't watched it, be sure to check it out. Link in the description. There was a theory about fine-tuning. I explained an example with a CNN model. This is a model that recognizes images. And here they describe exactly how to train, fine-tune a model that recognizes images. So here you can also go to pricing, check the cost, how much it currently costs to use the models. In this case, we see that the 5 Mini 5 model cannot be trained. Here there is input, output, and cache input. And if you scroll down, you can see that for one training and how much it costs per million tokens. Note that the cost is not small. I would say it's large. Therefore, choose a model that fits your budget and goals. I mainly train for 1 Mini, and it's one of my favorite models in terms of quality. It matches in cost, and the training here is quite cheap, but again, it all depends on your use cases. If you have a specific case and don't know which model to choose, again, go to our Telegram channel. You can ask there, yes, and either I or someone else will answer. We help each other there. That is, here I would like to give a clear understanding that training the model is a separate cost. And accordingly, we will now create an API key, because this training is not free and we are not training on our local machine, but using OpenAI's resources. And in this way, you don't need a powerful computer or a powerful graphics card. You use their resources and pay for it. And then when you have a trained model, you pay according to the pricing of the selected model. So in this case, if it is for 1 Mini, you will pay 80 cents per million tokens, but for your trained model. Therefore, it is important to understand that training is paid for separately, and we will see how much it will cost us with our data. To create an API key, you need to go select a project, and here under project API keys, create a new one and create secret key and copy it. And then we will use it in N8N. Now let's create the data we need to train the model. So I prepared the data. These are test data. I asked ChatGPT to generate them. And here it is JSONL, it's JSON, but here there is one object on each new line. And it turns out that these are data for a construction company that, for example, only builds houses and townhouses. It does not build apartments. Here I wrote the system prompt. The system prompt is very important, and a considerable amount of time should be allocated to it. But in this case, for example, I used a simple approach. And if you need to talk again about how to write system prompts correctly, please write in the comments, go to Telegram, let me know about it, and I will make a separate video on this topic. Next, yes, we have the user's role. These are the questions that the user asks our chatbot, and then the answer. That is the role of the assistant, right? The answer we want to see. It is very important to write such answers that validate each of them, which the company wants to see on its website, or for this bot to respond. So the end might be something like that. But here are 20 examples you see on the screen, right? Accordingly, the more there are, the better. As a rule, from my experience, I would say that it might take more than 1,000, approximately 1,500 to train the model well. And there can be different approaches. That is, maybe you need to train once with one part and then another time with another part. And what is very important is to understand that the more data you have, the better the quality of the model will be. So now we need to split this data in let's say 2 parts. I'll tell you why. That is 80% of the 20 will be training data. So those 16 rows will be training data, right? And for example, the remaining 4 will be for validation. So the model looks, the training looks like this. First, the model is trained on these 16, and then it validates itself on these 4. That is, it checks, sets this prompt, and compares how relevant the result is. Let's still leave 20 here and add a few lines separately, specifically for validation. 20 will be training data and 5 more for training. Well, yes, 4, let's use 4 to check validity. Usually it's split 80 to 20%. So I copied them. Here I paste. These 4 will be for validation. Let's see. Can you build? Can you build a 2-story house? Yes, we build a single-story house. Okay, yes. So there are some examples here. All right, now we copy the first part, the first 20, on which our model will train. We go to OpenAI, open the project we are interested in, select fine-tuning at the bottom, and here click to create a model. Supervised remains here we select for mini. The model is one of my favorites. Here you can add some prefix, for example, building company. So we leave the seed as random, training data. So here it asks you need to upload a file. Okay, let's save the files. I will quickly break it down now. So I split it, now let's upload. Now I will rename it from JSON to JSONL for validation. This is for the validation file because I saved it in JSON. Okay, uploaded. Now need to upload the validation data. So, well, here I usually choose auto to automatically adjust these parameters. For those who don't understand the number of epochs needed, I also recommend leaving it as is. Then perhaps you can, when you learn more about them, you will be able to modify. For starters, auto, in my experience, this achieved the best results. To adjust manually, you need to clearly understand how training and validation data work. So we create, click create. That's it. Zasha, as you can see, the training has started here. First, file validation takes place. This is necessary to ensure they are politically correct. according to best practices without any prohibited prompts. First, the files are validated and then training occurs. I will pause the video for now and return once validation and training are complete. So great, in 30 minutes we have a trained model ready. That is, if you see here, you can check train loss, valid loss meaning the model metrics. You can see, oops, how many tokens were spent. So we see that 6,000 tokens were spent. The training graph, yes, it is increasing. That's good. And the metrics for the model itself, meaning what the initial indicators were and what they became later. The most interesting thing is that you can open it here, yes, and practice, that is chat. Here we specify the system prompt that we use during training. So here we have selected 4.1 mini. Here our trained model is selected and we can ask, so for example, can you build apartments? We specified that it cannot, but let's see what these models will answer.
Can you build apartment? I missed the word build. Okay.
Okay, let's ask something from our data. Let's open them right away. So it turns out that here, well, for example, how much time will it take to build a house? Let's ask. So 6 to 12 more. Here the unusual model responded that usually 6 to 12 months, and our usual model responded 4 to 8 months, depending on size, complexity, and weather conditions. We trained it. Yes, it answered exactly the same. Let's slightly change a question, shall we?
Well, for example,
Сколько спален вы можете построить? How many bedrooms can you build? And I want to build, for example, how many do we have there as an answer? Our stone house with 1 plus 5 plus bedrooms based on your family size. But here is a dynamic value, meaning you can have more than 5. So let's say I want to build 10 bedrooms. We build custom houses, but 10 bedrooms is large. Let's discuss your specific requirements. So let's discuss our specific requirements. That's it. So here's a typical example of how you can train your own model. I hope you enjoyed the video here. We learned to train our own model. This model turned out to be very cheap and with a more or less good result. Accordingly, we used very little data. And if you take this seriously, you can achieve results that the client requires quite easily. And depending on the client's budget with decent quality. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like because it helps me make more videos. Let me know in the comments what else you would like me to make a video about. Maybe some models, training local models or something else. And see you in the next video. Bye bye.